All right, I think I figured it out. I think I figured out how to set this damn thing up. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. I am Mark Springer. I'm running solo today on Between the Pipes. Alex Ryan Emmys, uh, he's doing something. He's probably under investigation for rigging a poker game. I don't know, something like that. Actually, I think he's at a wedding. Avs fall 3-2 in Boston to the Bruins. Since I don't have Raj today, I want to hear from you guys. I got the chat up, looking at the comments. Let them fly. Any questions you have, any takes you have, you can be my co-host on this Saturday afternoon. Really was more of a 3-1 loss for the Avalanche today. They get a late goal, but it was too little too late. Had about 10 to 15 seconds to try to equalize that thing. And it's their first regulation loss of the season. Finally happened in Boston here this afternoon. And, you know, they get the early goal. Avs get an early goal. And that was it. That was it. That was pretty much it until a nothing goal late. Arturi Lehkonen scored his third goal of the season. Nice play. Cale Makar goes down low. Nate just rotates high. That puck gets to McKinnon down low, who backhand feeds it to the slot, and Lehkonen goes short side to beat Jeremy Swayman. But overall, Jeremy Swayman, who has played some hockey in Colorado in his career, not professionally, but earlier in his amateur career, Jeremy Swayman was very good. He's a good goalie. They paid him. They let Linus Ullmark go. They let him go to the Senators, and Swayman's a good goalie in his prime. Kind of struggled last season, but he saves 31 of 33 shots against. The Avs outshoot Boston significantly in this game, 33-19, but somewhat of a lack of high danger chances. Swayman was very good nonetheless. And, you know, this is a Boston team that, you know, they're mid. They're very mid, but they're capable, especially on their home ice. They do have talent like a David Pastrnak, who really wasn't much of a factor in this game. In fact, he didn't play. There you go. No, yeah, he played. There he is, 21-11. What am I thinking? He wasn't much of a factor. He had one assist. He really wasn't. You know who I noticed tonight? You know who I know today? You know who I really noticed in this game? Casey Middlestat. Casey Middlestat, now wearing number 11 for Boston, had a good little game. He had an assist. It was a real nice play on the wing side that led to the Victor Arvidsson goal that, you know, he just bounced off of Scott Wedgwood behind net. Casey Middlestat had the secondary assist on that play. It's a good little play on the wing from Casey Middlestat. Brock Nelson wearing number 11. So both of these centers wearing number 11 now. Middlestat for the Bruins, Nelson for the Avs. I tell you what, that's my biggest takeaway from this game was, I don't know if there's a curse of the 2C with the Avs, but Brock Nelson has just been there all season. And unfortunately, Gabriel Landeskog, who I thought had a good handful of games to start the season, I could see him progressing a little bit. He's gone stagnant. Gabe, I don't know if this is the knee. I don't know what it is. I mean, it very well might be that. He only plays 13-17 tonight, just over 13 minutes for Gabe Landeskog. He's not been much of a factor the last few games. And we had that goal taken back in Utah. But I'm not noticing any dangerous opportunities from Gabe, even small plays. He doesn't have a goal in the season. Now, he should have had a goal in Utah. But outside of that play where he snipes it and the goal gets taken back, I haven't noticed much from Gabe. They need this second line to do something. Val Nichushkin's playing well. He's the one player on the second line who is playing well. The other two, not so much. And I'd say Landeskog number 1. And it pains me to say that. Because I one of my bold predictions to start the season was that Landeskog would score 30 goals for the third time in his career. And he looked good in the playoffs. He looked good in that Star Series. And I saw signs in the first let's call it 4 games of the season. But the past 4 or 5, hasn't been there as much. And I think that Landeskog, I said it before the season started, he's the key to this season. Gabe Landeskog is the key to this season because they didn't really make that big move that I wanted them to make. The big move was re-sign. There were 2 big moves: re-signing Brock Nelson, extending him to, what was it, $8.5 million. Pretty good clip for a second line center, and getting Landeskog back after 3 years playing the playoffs, but now he's back in the regular season. So you look at the roster from last season to this season, there wasn't like an external big addition. Like the additions externally were signing Victor Olofsson to like a $1 million deal. He essentially replaces Charlie Coyle. Now, they had a stat on Altitude TV in this game where I think that Olofsson is 3rd in the NHL in terms of shots on goal, but not scoring a goal this season. DeBrincat was above him with the Red Wings, and there was somebody else. I can't remember. Olofsson has 20-plus shots on goal this season, hasn't scored. They've also moved him to power play 1, which is fine. I get that. He's got that big left-handed shot, and that was, you don't have Mikko Rantanen anymore. Who's going to be that left-handed shot on the right wing? They tried Brock Nelson. Now they're trying Victor Olofsson. Look, you can see it. Olofsson has a shot. We've seen it, whether it's a wrist shot or a slap shot, but he hasn't scored yet this season. And if you were listening to me, whether it was on the Blitz or in a variety of other avenues before the season, I filled in on Kreckman and Lindahl a little bit. I said, I don't know if Olofsson really replaces Charlie Coyle. But I like that shot. Olofsson's had made some plays. He's had some assists, a couple assists. He hasn't scored yet. The other external additions were Brent Burns. I think Brent Burns has played well. Now, that I will say, he is an upgrade over, in my opinion, from what I've seen from Brent Burns this season, and I would have forecasted this as well, that's an upgrade over Ryan Lindgren. Okay, now Brent Burns is a -2 tonight, but he played just south of 20 minutes. His minutes are going to go up a little bit as well with Sam Girard out. But I think Brent Burns has been good. Yeah, he throws some shots from the point that have some pace on him. He keeps pucks in the zone. That was a good one, okay? But still, we're talking about he's a second pair right now because Girard is out. He was going to be your third pair with Malinsky. It's going to be Manson Girard and Burns Malinsky, but Girard's out, so Burns is getting more minutes. And he's playing well. Don't get me wrong. He's playing well. Gavin Brindley is into the lineup. He was part of the Charlie Coyle trade. He only played 646 tonight. I haven't noticed much of Brindley in the past few games, and this shouldn't be a surprise. I know Raj likes Gavin Brindley, and hey, he showed well in his first handful of games, but I said, how many times have we seen, remember, oh my gosh, can't even remember this dude's name right now because I'm flowing. Who was the prospect? Good high draft pick, who was part of the Brock Nelson trade, and then they shipped him out to the Islanders. Cal Ritchie. Okay, there we go. Look, he played early last season. First couple games, fine. Then the NHL catches up to you. And I think that's happening a little bit with Gavin Brindley. But Logan O'Connor's out. Yoel Kivirant is out. Bardakov, didn't notice him at all tonight. He played 4.5 minutes. So you got a couple dudes in the bottom 6 with limited NHL experience in Brindley and Bardakov. They're non-factors right now. Those Brindley, Olofsson, Burns, those were your external additions. That's not sexy. That doesn't get me going. This needed to be Gabe Landeskog is back. Like the big additions came in-house. Gabe Landeskog is back. Brock Nelson is that legitimate 2C. And it hasn't happened yet. Now, as far as Gabe goes, look, when before the knee injury, what a player Gabe Landeskog is. He's such a good player. He's got to get back to that level. Will he? I'm still optimistic. Keep in mind, it's October 25th, okay? And they're clearly managing his minutes. He only plays 13-17 tonight. So this is a slow play with Gabe Landeskog. They are not going to throw him into the deep end yet. I believe the ultimate goal is, as we talked about the power play again for the upteenth time tonight, I believe the ultimate goal is to get Landeskog on power play 1. But they want that in the back half of the season when Gabe's knee is in a rhythm. I'd love to have that guy net front. I'm sure I would venture to guess that's the plan from the coaching staff as well. Avs go 0 for 3 on the power play tonight. Now, Nichushkin was on the power play. I'd love to see Lehkonen in that bumper. I don't have Raj here to give you expected goals for and all of that stuff. 0 for 3 tonight on the power play. You know, I watched that Boston power play, and they go 0 for 4, but they put bodies in front of net. And right now, Natchez is that body in front of net when he floats over there. And should Nichushkin float down there as well, but they're not dangerous enough in the middle of the ice. And I don't view Natchez as a middle of the ice player. He's an out wide player. So I'd like that's a tough one. That is a tough one. I get it because Marty Natchez has had such a great start to the season. 5-on-5, not on the power play. Because he's floating net front to left wing. And up high because Natchez doesn't have a true role. McKinnon doesn't have a true role on this power play because he's rotating with Natchez. Bodies in front of net. I know if my dude Andy Lindahl was watching this show, he would agree wholeheartedly. That's what they need. And Landeskog's great in that role. And then Landeskog's great net front. It's clear he's not ready. Or he'd be up there already. So if it was me, I'm really utilizing Nichushkin more net front. Look, they're playing him in the bumper. And Nichushkin had a couple looks in the slot tonight. But if Nichushkin's in that role, there's nobody deep. If Natchez is the one deep, Natchez is not a puck tipper. Natchez is not that physical guy who's going to move dudes around. Nichushkin can do that. If Landeskog's not ready, I want Nichushkin hounding net front with Lehkonen behind him. And I know it sucks because Natchez is due to make like $11 million here soon. And you want to put your money on the power play. I get it. But Natchez doesn't fit because McKinnon's on that left wing. And Nathan McKinnon, and he's not dangerous on that left wing right now. Cale Makar does not have that lane of bodies in front of him where he can throw pucks from the point and get 2 layers of screens. That slot layer and that net front layer. I want Lehkonen in that slot layer. I want Nichushkin in that deeper layer. 2 layers for Makar to fire shots from the point. This extended power play drought is absurd. It is absurd. 0 for 3 tonight. They mercifully get one in the 4th period against the Hurricanes. But what were they? 1 for 8? They were 1 for 8. And an extended drought before that? You have got to get this power play going. And I think Nichushkin going on power play 1 was a good first step. It was a good first step, but now they need to alter the structure. 2 in the middle, and Natchez doesn't fit that role. I know they want him out there. I get it. I understand why. But it doesn't fit based on the other personnel. All right, I'm going to take a look at the comment section here. See what you guys are saying in the chat. We are live on Twitter/X, YouTube, and Twitch. Throw this one up. Kevin says the power play was bad even in 2022. Look, the power play struggled towards the end of Mikko Rantanen's tenure. But I like the setup more. They were more dangerous. At least there were one-time looks on both wings and shots from the point. I don't know what they're doing right now. McKinnon's getting no looks on the left wing. Makar's getting no looks from the point. Makar is not able to creep inwards, more towards the slot, because it's too wide. They have two bodies. Like, Makar doesn't even have a true point role right now. I like the old structure. Was it struggling? Did it get cold? Yes, it did. But sometimes that happens. This is uber cold. This is colder than they've ever been. So this structure is not working. At least the other one, I felt it was somewhat dangerous from time to time. I don't feel any danger with this structure at all. You throw me the expected goals for, advanced analytics with the previous structure, because at least there was danger. There's no danger here. So I'm not buying the expected goals for with this power play. It's not good. Saw some comments, and let's on social media tonight or today. It's always weird when it's a day game. So Raj and I talked about who would they start in goal in this game. We were expecting Trent Miner, although I did suggest the alternative theory that with this being a back-to-back today in Boston and tomorrow in New Jersey, that you would sell out. And look, I think Boston is a weaker team than New Jersey. Even though, look, and again, I said this early in the show, Boston is a capable team. They winning a cup this year? Hell no. Hell no. They traded Brandon Carlo at the deadline last year. Like, they were sellers. Their roster is weaker than it has been in years past, but there are still capable players on that team. They are weaker than New Jersey. So would the Avs just sell out and go Scott Wedgwood today? And given that this was the first leg of the back-to-back and your legs are going to be fresher, and the Avs' legs are going to be more tired tomorrow in New Jersey. So would they throw their better goaltender on paper in a vacuum? Like, if you're just saying, hey, aliens are attacking Earth and you got to win this game, who are you putting in net? Scott Wedgwood or Trent Miner? You're putting Scott Wedgwood in net. That's what you're doing. That's what they did today. They sold out, and it didn't work. But if you're Colorado, you got to score more than 2 goals. You are healthy in the top 6. Kale and Taves are out there. You got to give Wedgie more support than just 2 goals. And you can say maybe the difference in this game is that play at the end of the second period. Little cleared puck down low that Morgan Geekie goes and retrieves. And then Josh Manson goes, he tries to go wide around the net, anticipating that Geekie's going to just swing back that way and carry his momentum. But it's a heady play from Morgan Geekie. Raj is a big Morgan Geekie fan, and he's played well with Boston. He's an underrated player. He had a good year last year. And Geekie says, whoops, nope, put on the brakes, spin back around, stuff it through Scott Wedgwood. Little lazy from Manson. Just anticipating. I knocked Solovyov for not keeping his eyes up and going with the play a couple games ago. Josh Manson does that here. Wedgie's too slow with the pad, but it's a good play by Geekie. And that goal scored with just under 5 seconds to go in the second period. That's it. That's your game. Maybe, that late goal from Colorado in what was ultimately nothing time. Maybe that's a game tying goal if Boston doesn't score with just under 5 seconds to go in the second period. So look, I think Scott Wedgwood had some saves in this game. He was fine. Avs offense, and I'm pointing to the second line in this one. Landeskog, Nelson. You needed more than one goal with 20 seconds to go. So I think the strategy of putting Scott Wedgwood in today was a sound one. Wedgie played fine. And now it'll probably be Trent Miner tomorrow. I don't think Mackenzie Blackwood made this trip. And it is the Devils tomorrow. That's Blackwood's original team, who I'm sure that they rue letting him go. Blackwood's turned into a hell of a goalie. So we'll see what Trent Miner can do. Would love to see. I'd imagine Blackwood's probably ready based on everything we've seen. No one was overly concerned about his injury. His conditioning assignment with the Eagles was terminated earlier this week. But then Trent Miner played well in the relief appearance. And that could be, I don't know, but it could be the reason that Blackwood did not make the trip. Looks like we'll get Trent Miner tomorrow. Okay. I mean, he was pretty good. We'll see what the Avs have tomorrow. They're going to be tired. That's why they went with Wedgwood today. They sold out for the front leg of the back-to-back, and it didn't pay off. It did not pay off, but I don't think, to me, goaltending wasn't the difference, though. They could have gone with Trent Miner tonight, and it wouldn't have made a difference. Yeah, you would have had Wedgie tomorrow. But let's see what Trent Miner's got. He's earned a start. He was damn good when he came in for Wedgwood in the Hurricanes game. Asfan says he's worried about Blackwood's injury. I'm not. Seems like he's close. I'm excited to see him play. He's a legitimate goaltender. I think Scott Wedgwood's been damn good, but he's started a lot. This is his 9th. He started every game for Colorado this season. All 9 games. And there's a ceiling on that with the Scott Wedgwood. But again, I don't put this loss on Scott Wedgwood. I'll throw this out here. Kamara Homopoulos says Bednar does some crazy shiz, some crazy shit. We can say shit on this show. He might throw Wedger out there again. I don't know. Maybe he does. But what I actually wanted to touch on with Bednar does some crazy shit. We haven't seen any line changes this season. Do we see any tomorrow? Is this the time? Do you guys want to see any Bednar blending tomorrow? Because I remember, okay, I had said before the season, now I don't think he's ready for this. I wish he was, but he's clearly not ready for this. I was anticipating, though, the possibility as this season went along that Gabe Landeskog would get back on that top line. That's where he was before he got hurt. McKinnon, Landeskog, Rantanen. I don't think Landy's there yet. Pains me to say it, but I don't think he's there yet. But you know who's played damn well recently? I thought he played well again tonight. He's the only, I said he's the only second liner who was dangerous, and that was Val Nichushkin. Val leads the Avs with 6 shots on goal tonight. He played a team high. He played a forward high, not a team high. Cale Makar played a team high with 27-13. Then Devon Taves 24-19. For the forwards, Nichushkin played more than anyone tonight. 23-32. And he led the Avs with 6 shots on goal. Now, I don't know if you were to blend the lines, now it might not be necessary because I thought the top line played well. Nathan McKinnon a little sleepy once again today. He had 2 assists. But you know, it was that play behind the net on the first Lekanen goal. Now that last goal, look, that's a nothing goal. 20 seconds to go. You're down 2. McKinnon gets an assist on that one. And Lekanen scores his second of the game, but whatever. And obviously, Natchez has played well. And Lekanen gets 2 goals today. And Nate's still great. We know, I mean, man, before the past couple games, Nate's been on a heater. So maybe you don't blend the lines. But Val's playing great. Are Nelson and Landeskog holding them back right now? Could Natchez spark the second line? I don't know. Because you put Natchez and Val together. You can put Natchez and Val together with Nelson centering. You could move Landeskog up to the top line and see if Nate sparks him. But I don't know if Gabe's ready for that. Again, he played just 13-17. Trying to figure out how to get this offense going for tomorrow. That's all I'm doing. Because even though they outshot Boston, it was stagnant. It was stagnant in this game. How about this player? Mentioned him a moment ago, and this crossed my mind watching this game. How about this? So I'm watching this game, and for the first time this season, thought crossed my mind. And it's funny because he's had some good defensive plays, and he's a defenseman. He's had some really good back-checking plays this season. Devon Toews. How about this? Devon Toews doesn't have a single point on the season. That's odd. Because he's a good player. I know he's a defenseman, but when you're playing with Kale and you're on the first defensive pair, and we've seen Toews activate offensively this season. Or not this season, in seasons past, excuse me. He has it this season. He doesn't have a single point. Devon Toews doesn't have a single point this season. Wow. Any theories? Hit me up, chat. Why does Devon Toews not have a single point this season? And part of what I was thinking when I was like, where's Devon Toews been offensively in this? Like that crossed my mind midway through this game. Slap shots from the point. Activating on rushes. Devon Toews can do that on the right wing as a defenseman. He can activate onto the right wing. Where has Devon Toews been offensively? I haven't noticed one dangerous Devon Toews look this season. Slap shots, wrist shots from the point, activating down low. That hurts. You need Devon Toews to have had a point through the first 9 games. Let me look at Josh Manson's numbers. Okay, he has 1 goal, 1 assist on the season. Josh Manson is another guy, too, who can get down low as a defenseman, score goals in the slot. I don't know why we haven't seen that from Toews and even Manson. Is it because Manson's not playing with Girard? Let me look up Cale Makar's numbers on the season. Because Cale has had a fine start to this season. Let's see, 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points. Nice. I don't know. This blue line needs to activate more. I'll look up the league numbers for defensemen. Where's Cale? Because he's been good. Cale's great. But this is a team that what's been the knock on the blue line? Well, maybe it lacks a little physicality and size, but they activate offensively. Let's see here. Where is Kale? Let me go and sort by defenseman. Okay, he's leading all defensemen in points. And he's a plus 11. Why do I expect even more from Kale McCarr? Okay, he has 7 assists now. Updated from the 6 I was seeing. So 10 points on the season. Lane Hudson. What man, Lane Hudson with the Habs, with the Canadiens. He's good. Only 1 goal from him, but 7 assists, 8 points. Kale's a plus 11. Let's see. Shane Gostisbehere, who did not play the other night, he's a plus 9. Jacob Chikrin is a plus 8. Those are your plus minus leaders for defensemen. Yeah, so Kale's having another great season, but why do I expect even more? But Taves has no points, playing right next to him. And I was concerned about the offense coming into the season. I was. Because they didn't make that big move. You saw the big moves, and I'm going to circle back, came from in-house. And the two big in-house moves were Landeskog and Nelson. Gabe Landeskog should have scored, but didn't score. Has 2 assists, only 2 points in 9 games. I believe he's a plus 1 on the season. I'm going to go ahead and say that ESPN's not updated. So Gabe, because he was a minus 1 tonight. So Gabe's 2 assists and a plus 1 on the season. Brock Nelson Brock Nelson has 1 goal, 1 assist. 1 goal, 1 assist. And he is a plus 4 on the season. But 1 goal, 1 assist. We're 9 games in. We'll look up Casey Middlestat's numbers. Casey Middlestat has 3 goals. And now 3 assists. And he's even on the season in the plus minus. He's a 0. But 3 goals, 3 assists. Brock Nelson, 1 goal, 1 assist. What is this second center curse? What is happening? Casey Middlestat is having a better season than Brock Nelson. And Brock Nelson, look, he was the safer bet. That's why Casey wasn't playing well with the Avs. We saw it. We could see it with our own 2 eyes when we watch Avs games. Casey Middlestat, he had a good start to last season, and then he just petered off tremendously. He was not good. You'd watch him. He was a liability. They had to get rid of him. Brock Nelson, safe bet. What a reliable player in all of his years with the New York Islanders. And he's just been there. Like, when I watch Brock Nelson out there with the Avs, it wasn't like Casey with the Avs, where Casey would make some dumb plays and you were just like, oh my God, dude. Like turning the puck over, stuff like that. Like, Brock's not doing that. But he is just not a factor offensively. What is this second center curse? What is this? You couldn't have had a safer bet than Brock Nelson. He was the safest of bets. And he's not playing poorly, but he's not playing well. Casey Middlestat is playing well for the Boston Bruins this season. I don't have an answer. I wish I had the answer for you guys. Is it because Landeskog is just kind of finding his footing and he's dipping the toe in, now he's dipping the ankle in, and that's kind of affecting the second line? The Landeskog is not the Landeskog of old right now. But I will pause right here and say it's just, we're 9 games in. It's October 25th. There's a lot of season left. Avs are 5-1-2. It's sports radio. It's social media. We're gonna take this loss hard today in Boston, but it was their first regulation loss of the year. Now they have lost 3 in a row. 2 of them were in overtime / shootout. So they are 0-1-2 in their last 3. And they are leading the Western Conference still a far cry from last season. They're +8 in the goal differential. Now, even though they're leading the Central, and they're leading the West, Vegas is just a point back of them. They have 2 games in hand. Vegas has only played 7 games. He hasn't played 9. So for all intents and purposes, really Vegas is leading this conference right now. But because the Azs have played 2 more games and have picked up 1 more point, they are in first. Winnipeg and Utah are your 2 teams right behind Colorado in the Central. Each have 12 points. Utah's won 5 straight. Utah has won 5 straight. And both Winnipeg and Utah are 6-2-0. Both have played 8 games. Again, the Avs have played 9, so Winnipeg and Utah have a game in hand. How about Chicago? They've won 2 in a row. They're 4-2-2. They have 10 points. The Blackhawks are a playoff team if the season ended today. Nashville's 3-3-2 with 8 points. And then the Blues are 3-3-1. The Stars are 3-3-1. Stars are second to last in the Central. Minnesota has 7 points as well, along with Dallas and St. Louis. But Minnesota's 3-4-1. They have an extra loss in the regulation loss column. So the Wild are in last. So, it goes to show, look, there's early season things going on here. Dallas is 3-3-1. They've lost 4 in a row. I think we would all agree that the 2 best teams in this division are still Colorado and Dallas. But Colorado's lost 3 in a row. Dallas has lost 4 in a row. You see that early in the season. And one would think and expect that as the weeks and months go on, Dallas will see that win total go up. And as long as Colorado can stay healthy and they're getting Mackenzie Blackwood back, and, we're about a month-ish away from O'Connor coming back, and we'll see when Gerard comes back. You hope no other injuries pop up. That would hurt. But, it goes to show Dallas is second to last in the Central right now. But we'd all agree that Dallas and Colorado are the 2 best teams in this division. So tough loss for Colorado today, but they're leading the Central. Albeit teams behind them have games in hand, but 5-1-2 or 5-1-3, excuse me. You take that. So we'll see about New Jersey tomorrow. I wonder what the line on that game is. On New Jersey and Colorado tomorrow. And does New Jersey play today? They probably don't, because that would be 3 straight games, because they beat the Sharks last night. So New Jersey's going to have a day off, sleeping in their own beds. They beat the lowly Sharks last night. But that's a good New Jersey team. They got younger players who are now entering their prime. Let's take a look at what New Jersey was able to do. I wasn't intently following Devils Sharks last night, but was aware of it. Let's see. Dougie Hamilton had a couple power play goals. What a novel concept. That's how New Jersey wins this game against San Jose. 2 power play goals. That's it. And then they got an empty net goal. 2 power goals from their defenseman point, Dougie Hamilton. What a novel concept. Winning a game via power play goals. The power play can win you games all by itself sometimes. Not every night. But, there's a handful of games throughout the season where the difference in the game is the power play. I'll be very curious to see what New Jersey's power play looks like tomorrow night, what their setup is. This is a good team. I mean, Jack Hughes, man, former first overall pick. You watched him. I was watching him a couple years ago, and I was like, dude, this guy's going to win a heart. This guy's going to win a heart. Now he's had an injury or two, and hasn't quite broken out since. But they're going to get a night's rest after playing at home. Jesper Bratt on that top line with Jack Hughes, Andre Palat, good top line. Nico Hischier had 2 assists on Friday night. He's centering that second line. You got Timo Meier, former Shark, played against his former team the other night. Couple good players on that second line. They're a good team. They're a good team. Now, their flaw is their goaltending. You know, they started Jake Allen, who's a very mid-level, now veteran goaltender. Nico Dawes, 24 years old, is their backup. You can score, even though the Avs are on the second leg of a back-to-back tomorrow night. Homopolis says in the chat, and I didn't get around to looking it up because I was looking at the Devils' box score from the other night. New Jersey minus 135. Okay, they're giving the Avs a chance. That should be higher. So Colorado absolutely has a chance to win this game. Maybe Trent Miner just goes and has his game. And maybe the offense can wake up a little bit because that Devils goaltending is not great. They will regret. Like, Mackenzie Blackwood was their guy. He was their young stud, but then he struggled and they gave up on him. And they shipped him off to San Jose. And then Blackwood kind of found his footing. And then the Avs stole him. But goaltending is a flaw for New Jersey. So even though the Avs will be playing twice in less than 24 hours, this is a 1 p.m. Mountain puck drop. This is 11 a.m. Mountain puck drop tomorrow. So less than 24 hours, 22 hours. The Avs will be playing. But it's a Devils team that can allow some goals. The Avs offense has to wake up tomorrow. Would love to see Devon Toews get his first point of the season tomorrow. Would love to see Brock Nelson wake up. Landeskog's going to score his first goal of the season eventually. Damn near had it in Utah. It's going to happen. Those are the three. Those are the 3 players that need to get it going. Nelson, Landeskog, Toews. Those are the 3 that need to get it going. You get points from 2 of those 3 tomorrow, you might win this game. You might steal one. I've noticed teams are not playing well. Obviously, you don't have any numbers, but I've just noticed eyeballing it. Teams playing on the second leg of back-to-backs are not playing well this season. Maybe the Avs can break that trend because that trend, it's not 100-0. You can win on the second legs of back-to-backs. All right, NHL scores here before we get out of here. How the Mammoth are going to win again, at least right now. I mean, this game's early. We're towards the end of the first period, but Utah's in Minnesota. Utah's up 3-1. Damn you, Ryan Smith and Tusky. Logan Cooley has 2 more goals. He had a hat trick the other night. This young kid, he's like 21 years old. Damn good player. No wonder he declined that contract extension from Utah. He went Marty Natchez. He's like, I'm going to bet on myself. And man, is it paying off? Also, Utah has one of Cooley's 2 goals is a power play goal. I'm going to hammer that home. Score on the power play. So Utah, if that holds, they are going to take the lead in the Central tonight. Utah will be leading the Central Division. And that was one of Raj's picks, and I didn't disagree that Utah could get a wild card spot. Are going to be leading the Central when all things are said and done tonight if this holds. Let's see, Tampa is leading Anaheim 2-1. Tampa is the worst team in the East. They're 1-4-2. So they need this one. They're older, but there's still too much talent. Now, Anaheim was one of my sleeper teams, and they're playing well. They are third in the Pacific, 4-2-1 with 9 points. They won in Boston. Anaheim was able to go in Boston, but these things even out. Boston probably did not want to lose 2 straight on their home ice. They played well. Boston played well in this game after the first period. Even though the Avs were out shooting them consistently, Boston did play well today. It's kind of a must win for them because Anaheim just came in and beat them 7-5. They needed to get this win. And Boston did just that. Tampa just scored. They're up 3-1. So these things kind of even themselves out a little bit. Tampa needs this one. Anaheim's been out kicking their coverage just a little bit. 3-1 Tampa over Anaheim right now. Hey, how about the Buffalo Sabres? That Avs win over the Sabres isn't looking as bad. Buffalo's hot. Buffalo's won 2 straight. They just beat the Maple Leafs last night. It's a home and home. Buffalo's now 4-4-0. They didn't have a win on. They were 0-3 after the Avs beat them, but Buffalo got it going a little bit. Home and home with the Leafs. Now it's in Toronto, 2-2. 2-2 between the Leafs and the Sabres. As we approach the end of the second period, Tage Thompson and Bowen Byram scoring in that game for Buffalo. It's parity league too. Parity league. You look at Tampa as they're the worst team in the East. Only in the entire NHL, the Flames are the worst team in the NHL. The Flames have lost 8 straight. Naz Kadri is in hockey purgatory right now. Flames are 1-7-1, but it's the Sharks and the Lightning who are just above them. The Lightning are just as good as the Sharks this season. But Tampa does look like they're going to get, or at least right now, looks like they will creep closer to moving out of the dregs of the NHL. And hey, Florida is beating the Golden Knights 1-0. This game is in Florida. Florida just scored. This was a 0-0 game as we approach the end of the first period, but Florida just scored. Not sure who yet, but that's good news. Because as I had said just a few moments ago, I mean, we were talking leaders in the West overall. Vegas has 2 games in hand for the lead in the West. So if Florida can get this win, the Avs first number 1 seed, and it's late October. Looks like Utah is going to be the number 1 seed. If things hold right now, Utah will be your number 1 seed in the Western Conference at the end of October 25th. If everything holds. Sam Reinhart got that goal. Evan Rodriguez got an assist on it. There you go. So Utah right now, the little bit of a surprise. There's always a surprise. There's always a surprise, and Utah is your little bit of a surprise here to start this season. But the Avs still in good position. 5-1-3, 13 points on the season, but they lost 3 in a row. See if they turn it around tomorrow. I'll be back with you. Raj might be with me tomorrow. Raj might be going to the Broncos game. We're not sure yet. As that's a nice little doubleheader for Denver sports fans. You got the Avs at the Devils at 11 a.m. It leads you right into Broncos Cowboys at 2:25. At the very least, I will do Between the Pipes, solo or with Raj, after Avs Devils. And then Between the Pipes certainly will take you into Broncos and Cowboys. So that's the show. Get a point. Get a point. At the very least tomorrow. 2-game swing out east. This little back-to-back. Let's not go over here. Let's not go over. As the Avs will come home on Tuesday night and then face the Devils again. Wow, we're going to get real sick of the New Jersey Devils. All right, thank you everyone for tuning in. We appreciate you. I appreciate you on this late Saturday afternoon. I will talk to you all tomorrow after Avs Devils. Have a good Saturday night. Stay safe, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow.